It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
It is that time for another cup of coffee with Will, Uncle Chris right here from Slumberland at the lake. And boy, September's almost gone as we look ahead to fall. October right around the corner. Man, it was a good weekend. Bike Fest, a huge success. Yep. We got that to talk about. Also some big time events coming this weekend. We'll have a special guest in. And man, did you watch any football over the weekend?
Oh yeah, too much.
Man, I'll tell you what, disappointing loss for the Chiefs Sunday night.
Talk about blowing a game. They blew that game.
Yeah, they blew that game. Their defense looked terrible, allowing almost 500 yards. It was rough. We'll talk about that. And we got a pretty cool, funny story of the week for you guys this week that I'll tell Uncle Chris. We'll see how hard we can get him to laugh. But first, before we dig in and get started on this week's show, we owe you this word from our friends right here at Slumberland.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're inviting everyone to come see our new Sleep Solutions Gallery. We know that sleep is much more than just mattresses, and we've even made it easy to find that perfect night's sleep. Come see us at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Daryl's just a man, isn't he?
He is so great.
He's got it all figured out.
I tell you what, and every time I come down here to buy something at Slumberland, he gives me a deal.
Yeah, he gives you the old Lake TV Uncle Chris deal. You could try that too when you come in. Ask if you get that Lake TV pricing.
You can do the friends and family because you're friends of ours, right?
Yeah, they consider us family. You notice we got a new set, new backdrop behind us today, looking good, and that's that awesome fireplace entertainment center. It's pretty cool, and that's on sale right now. You can come down and get that, but you better hurry because it's going to go quick. All right, so Bike Fest, it was here. A lot of controversy, a lot of worry headed in, and everything ended up being all right. And, man, I'll tell you what, from all accounts that I saw online and being around it this weekend, it was just insane. Everywhere
we went, we had friends in town last week, so we went, we were out a lot. Everywhere we went, bikes. And all the bikers, very nice, very cool, just wonderful everywhere we went. And we looked it up. I think that brings in like 125,000 people just for the Bike Fest weekend. So
that's crazy.
It's a huge event.
That is nuts. So huge success. It was cool to see so many people down, so many local businesses had a really good weekend, not just the bars and Harley Davidson. A lot of the lodging establishments were at capacity, and for this time of the year, that is a big increase as you get ready for that off season for a lot of places. So another Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest is in the books.
And I want to give kudos to the Lake Ozark mayor who, he stepped up. You mentioned all the controversy going into that. He took care of it, took the reins, made sure everything was cool. So congratulations on that. New mayor, so sometimes it's tough to do that, and he pulled it off.
Him, his board of aldermen at the city of Lake Ozark, Police Chief Gary Launderville and his staff just did an incredible job over the weekend. They were all over the place, and it was a really good weekend. Yeah, but Mayor Newberry spearheaded that and was able to offer a solution. Heather Brown and the Convention and Visitors Bureau also involved in that, and the Chamber of Commerce. So really cool. Now, in another story, as we move ahead from Bike Fest being in the books, remember we talked about the murder that took place out at Shady Gators a couple months ago, and they had been investigating, and they had been filing charges and setting everything straight. Well, apparently the murder weapon has been recovered.
Absolutely. I didn't realize that it hadn't been recovered, but they've been looking for this. A dive team got that gun near the dock at Shady Gators. Prosecutors say was the murder weapon that killed the Kansas City hip-hop artist Bonsai Watson, I think was his name. So the weapon was retrieved. This is more than 3 months after the murder. The gun was only a few feet away from the closest dock slip to the restaurant and was a little more than a foot underwater. So apparently after the shooting, he tried to get rid of the gun, couldn't throw it like out in the channel or whatever. So it was pretty close when they found it. The dive team brought up the gun. It was placed into a canister. Police, of course, going to go over it all for evidence. You've seen all those TV shows.
I was going to say, it kind of sounds like CSI or Law and Order SVU, you know?
Absolutely. So the gun did show visible effects from being in the water for more than 3 months, but the officials still very confident about the forensic investigation. Big word there. And they are saying, according to police, the retrieval of the gun could lead to further charges. So this is a big thing. This is huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and a lot of times you really need that weapon to be able to prosecute to the full extent of the law. So hopefully that's what happens in that situation. And similar, of course, we know with Bike Fest, a lot of questions, a lot of speculation considering what had taken place at Casablanca about a month and a half ago. But another story along those lines is 8 St. Louis police officers have been awarded for their off-duty heroics in the Lake Ozark gunfight. So that's pretty cool.
That is very cool. And you probably heard about it right after the gunfight, that there just happened to be these St. Louis, I think they were in for some training or something.
Right.
They were
Either
down
that or a seminar here,
something
convention
like that. Yeah.
That's down here. And there were police officers and deputies and law enforcement all over. But as you said, off duty, you heard about it, and they are being awarded for their
jump into the fray. Yeah, absolutely. So 8-member St. Louis Police Department honored with a Back the Blue Award for their heroic acts when all of this broke out on the Strip. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt giving the awards on September 16th was the day. So Sergeant Shanna Ostendorf, along with several other officers, they were off duty. The gunfight breaks out in the restaurant, and those officers were nearby, and they jump right in. They go in, and it was interesting because one of the officers said, "We reacted. We were outgunned, outmanned, didn't have bulletproof vests. Most of us had our backup weapons. Didn't even know they had backup weapons, which usually carry less amounts of rounds, and yet they just jumped right in and helped clean things up, stop things. You know, and you don't think about that. I mean, you usually think, well, the police are going to have more firepower and stuff like that, and they're saying, no, we were outgunned, outmanned, and everything.
Well, because as you said, they weren't on duty. I mean, they didn't have, you know, their regular arsenal equipment, bulletproof vest, and, you know, it's crazy in that line of work. You know, that is the actions you're expected to take, and it's kind of taken for granted that when chaos happens or a situation like that happens, as civilians and average Joes on the street, we run away, whereas these guys run towards and face head on, and that could have been worse than it was. I mean, we never really talked about that in the aftermath because it was so heartbreaking, the life lost, and of course the injuries, and to have that happen right here at our lake on the Bagnell Dam Strip. But man, that many bikers, you get testosterone, you know, flow, and people start firing. I mean, that could have been a lot worse. You could have had numerous casualties, and these 8 officers who were off their duty from St. Louis played a big role in making sure that it stayed at that, you know, 1 death and few injuries. So good work for them, and they're awarded for that.
Well, and it's good during this crazy time of defunding police and all this stuff that you get positive stories like this. I mean, where would we be without law enforcement? It would just be chaos.
Oh, it would be nuts. You see The Purge, you know, those movies, or that term, The Purge, where, you know, no law enforcement, no crime is illegal for, you know, 12 hours or whatever. I mean, that would be what it would be like if you didn't have police officers. So, all right, another interesting nugget. I saw this, and I kind of surprising, honestly. I got family down there, but according to U.S. new data analysis reports that Springfield, Missouri ranks as the 5th dangerous city in the United States of America, and that really surprised me.
So here's a little Uncle Chris trivia for you. What is the most dangerous city in America?
Anchorage, Alaska.
You got it, which surprised me because you think Alaska, that's not going to be dangerous, right? Unless you're eaten by a bear.
But it is Anchorage, Alaska, correct?
It is, Anchorage #1, Memphis #2, Lubbock, Texas, Detroit, and then Springfield are the top 5.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
You think Chicago, St. Louis, you know, Portland, some of those places, Detroit, you know, might be up there.
Detroit is 4, San Francisco 6, Corpus Christi 7, Shreveport 8, Stockton, California
This is
9.
metro areas too. So just interesting. But yeah, Springfield, Missouri, the crime rate and gang activity in Springfield has continued to grow over the last 10 years. And my grandparents lived down there. A lot of my family lived down there. Andrew went to school down there. And it has really changed, over the last 10 to 12, 15 years as more people have come into the area. There's been more crime activity. So the fifth most dangerous city.
Isn't that crazy?
Because I love going down there.
Yeah.
You just don't think of Springfield as being a non-family place.
Well, and they do throw in, different, categories and stuff like that, which some people don't agree with. So you can probably, skew these things to look differently if you want. But according to this group of people, that's what it is. So it's pretty stunning.
I have a little Wild Will trivia for you. So if you have to pick, you're going to go live in Springfield, Missouri, Anchorage, Alaska, or Chicago. What's your last pick on that list?
I would not live in Chicago. No, thank
Alaska.
you.
No Alaska either.
Maybe Springfield, right? Yeah. So
Springfield would be.
At least you could come to the lake.
Right.
So,
right. All right. So this weekend, we've told you about it. We've been promoting it. We've been getting excited. Pumpkin Chunkin' Palooza is here. Starts at 10 o'clock this Saturday at the Ozarks Amphitheater. Goes till 4:30. There is all kinds of stuff. Pumpkin trebuchet contest, there's pumpkin pie eating contest, there is funny farms with the zoo, petting zoo, face painting, jump houses, great foods, vendors, artisans, all the works. Biggest fall festival in the area, put on by the Rotary for the 4 local charities they've selected, and that night is Pumpkin Chunkin' Palooza's Got Talent. 10 talented groups or individuals are going to compete for $5,000. Your $20 ticket will get you in the door and allow you voting in the prelims, all 10. And we narrow that down to 5 after you vote the first round.
Yeah.
We narrow it down to 5. They come perform again, and then you pick of those 5 who is the $5,000 champion. It's going to be an awesome day. And gates for that night event start at 6 o'clock, or they open at 6. The performances begin at 7.
And all the fun starts earlier in the day, like at 10?
10 o'clock. Goes till 4:30. It's going to be awesome.
Wow, it's going to just come down, have fun, bring the kids, all that stuff, and then stick around at night for this talent contest. And this is like the first annual, right? This first time
we've ever had this event.
So that ought to be fun. Me and KB and Mary Kay, we get to be judges, right?
Really commentators.
Right,
Simon Cowell.
Because we're not judging, you're judging. So I get to say, man, nobody should ever leave you up on the stage or something like that, right?
He's going to be saying that to me, the host, I'm sure.
I get to be, so you're hosting, yeah. So I'll say, well, you were good, but Wild Will, you were bad, man.
Yeah.
So you should come. That'll be fun.
It'll be awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you there. All right, so we shift gears here, headed into sports. I want to keep it local first before we talk about the heartbreaking Chiefs loss. So, man, what another nail-biter. Instant classic for the hometown Indians of Osage. Friday, man, they lost 36-34, but boy, it wasn't due to lack of effort.
No, when we were there, we called the game on Lake TV. By the way, you can see a replay of that game. Every Tuesday night at 7:30 and Thursday night at midnight, you get to see the game from the week before if you missed it. So put that on your calendar. But yeah, and it was probably the single greatest comeback that we have called at Lake TV. Would have been if they would have finished it off. We saw a great one a couple of years ago, Camden, coming back to beat West Plains. But it was great. They were down 30-6. Scored
36-6 to California.
Scored 28 unanswered points. Had the ball with a chance to win and couldn't quite finish it off.
California's defense got the stop. They improved to 3-1. Osage falls to 2-2. As for the Indians, they've lost 2 in a row. They have to play host to Hallsville. Hallsville's 4-0 on the year. Justin Conyers, we know, their head coach. He's got big aspirations for his team this year. And then Camdenton, speaking of West Plains, they had a high-scoring game. They got blown out Friday.
Yeah, it was a little closer than the final score would indicate because the Lakers went for it on 4th down, deep in their own territory, a couple times late, and it's like Super Bowls. They get away, get out of hand. But that West Plains team is good. They're ranked number 2 in the state in Class 4, I think. Tough loss for the Lakers. I talked with Coach Shore because we do a weekly high school football coaches show for you. You can see that every week during the season, Tuesday through Friday. Coaches talk about last game and the upcoming game at 10, 2, and 6, Tuesdays through Fridays. Coach Shore saying, this was actually a good learning experience for us. We've got a young team. We learned a lot of stuff. We'll be able to take that and grow and get better. So that's fantastic. But it was a loss.
And 3-1 now, still a great start for them, and they're going to get a break. They play at Bolivar Friday, 1-3, the Bolivar team. So they could go down there and get a win. And then as for us,
but Bolivar's pretty good, so don't count that as just an easy win.
And for us, we have California again. We had them last week. They got that big win at Osage. They're 3-1, and they're going to play host in California to a very tough Boonville team, a Boonville Pirates team that actually knocked off Blair Oaks Friday night to go to 4-0. So that's going to be an awesome matchup. We'll have that on Lake TV with our COMC pregame show starting at 6:30. Kickoff set for 7. Okay, you guys are excited to hear Chiefs and Ravens. My goodness, 36-35 is your final. And I just wanted to look at here a couple of these numbers that blew me away.
Yeah.
Okay, so total yards, Baltimore had 481 yards of offense. Average yards per play, the Chiefs actually had 8.3 yards per play, but they didn't have near as many plays or didn't have the ball as much. And then the big stat here was third down efficiency. I thought this told the story. Baltimore in the game converted 54% of their third downs, whereas the Chiefs converted 16%. And the Chiefs had the ball for 24 minutes, whereas the Ravens had it for 36 minutes. And even though Baltimore had 3 more penalties than the Chiefs, they were able to come out victorious. And Kansas City definitely had their chances, let it slip. And you said last week, you said, okay, I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but I really don't think they're going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore wins. So KC, they go to 1-1 in a game that a lot of Chiefs fans are going to have a hard time getting over.
I think this Chiefs fan just watching them, they know they're good. They're hearing all the talk, oh, we could have an undefeated season. They've been to 2 straight Super Bowls. Hopefully that was a wake-up call for them, because they, especially the defense, they weren't out there sticking their nose in there and really going all out. It didn't seem to me anyway.
481 yards of offense yielded, just insane.
And I think this week's the same. I mean, this Chargers team could come in and beat them this week. I'm picking the Chiefs, but they could very easily lose this week.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So Chiefs, they're going to play the Chargers. They're 1-1, as are the Chargers. So one team will leave 2-1 in that one. Okay, so as far as our pick 'em, Chris, you didn't have a great start, but boy, did you bounce back this week.
Yep.
You had an impressive mark overall. Let's see what the numbers were for the week. You go 11-5. Got 12 points, got your money game. Megan, I'm telling you what, she's been good the first 2 weeks.
Been good, yeah.
She goes 10-6 with her money game for 11 points. Again, Andrew ties somebody. He goes 10-6 with 11, tying Megan. I go 8-8 for 9 points. Not a great week for me. And then I would have felt worse, except for Ricky. He went 6-10.
Yeah, he really
missed his money game. So your overall standings: Andrew's in first, 23 points, 21-11. Megan's got 22, 20-12. Chris, you're 21 right there, 19-13. I've got 20 at 18-14, all jumbled there. Ricky's also there at 18.17.
If I would have won my 2 overtime games the first week, I'd be in first place.
Yeah, there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, woulda. How about if Scott Norwood would have hit that kick? All right, so this week's picks, we're going to go through them quick. We're going to start with the Thursday night game. I got Carolina over Houston.
I got Carolina.
Very good. Buffalo is my money pick over Washington.
I've got the Bills.
Cleveland over Chicago.
I got the Browns.
Baltimore over Detroit.
I got the Ravens.
Arizona over Jacksonville.
Let's see. I do have the Cardinals.
The Chiefs over the Chargers.
I did take the Chiefs.
Patriots over the Saints.
Yep, I got the Pats.
Giants over the Falcons.
I took the Giants.
Steelers over the Bengals.
Yep. Boy, we got all the same picks this week.
Titans over the Colts.
Yeah, I got the Titans.
Denver over the Jets.
Yeah, and that's my money pick, the Broncos.
Very good. The Raiders over the Dolphins.
Got the Raiders.
Tampa Bay over the Rams.
You know what? I went with the Rams on this one.
Finally.
That one is going to be a pick 'em. That one's up in the air.
Seattle over Minnesota.
I took the Seahawks.
Green Bay over San Fran.
No, I took the Niners.
Very good.
Ooh, hey, a couple of them there.
Took Philadelphia over Denver.
Over the Cowboys?
Over the Cowboys.
I
Dallas.
took the Cowboys.
So we did, of our last 4 games, the afternoon games, we have 3 different. But man, I'm telling you what, we have a lot of the same picks. We'll see how that shakes out. Andrew, Megan, and Ricky will get their picks in. And
your money pick was the Bills?
Yeah, I got the Bills.
I think they're going to blow them out.
Oh, I mean, how about the way they bounce back?
They did.
Over the Dolphins, shutting them out. So very, very cool. Love doing those picks. It makes it so much more interesting when you're competing against everybody.
Yeah.
I know Andrew is more into football now than he probably ever has been.
I know.
Those picks have a little something to do with it.
Shoot.
All right, so funny story of the week. I'm going to pull this up. Okay. Chris, not going to spend too long on this. We do have a special guest we have to get to, but I think you're going to enjoy this for our joke of the week. Okay, so Woman gets pulled over by an officer, and she says, "They're a problem, officer. Ma'am, you were speeding." "Oh, I see." The officer asks if he could see her license, and she said, "I'd give it to you, but I don't have one." The officer says, "You don't have one?" She said, "I lost it 4 times for drunk driving." "Oh, I see. Can I see your vehicle registration then, ma'am?" She says to that, "I can't do that either." The officer again says, "Well, why is that?" And she said, "Well, I stole this car." The officer said, "You stole it?" She goes, "Yeah, I killed and hacked up the owner." The officer goes, "You what?" "His body parts are in a plastic bag in the trunk if you want to see." At this point, the officer kind of looks at the woman, slowly backs away to his car, and calls her back up. Now, within minutes, 5 police cars circle the car. A senior officer slowly approaches the car, clasping his half-drawn gun. He says, "Ma'am, could you step out of your vehicle, please?" And she steps out, no problem. She says, "Is there a problem, sir?" "One of my officers told me that you have stolen this car and murdered the owner." She goes, "Murdered the owner?" "Yes. Could you please open the trunk of your car?" The woman gladly opens the trunk, and it's empty. And he said, "Is this your car, ma'am?" And she goes, "Yes. Here are the registration papers." The first officer to the side looks stunned. He said, "Well, one of my officers claims you don't have a driver's license." So she shows him the license. He said, "Thank you, ma'am. One of my officers told me you didn't have a license, that you stole this car, and that you murdered and hacked up the owner." She looks at the officer and goes, "I bet you that lying son of a gun told you I was speeding too, didn't he?"
Well, I knew there was something coming there.
So that was funny. It got a chuckle out of me when I read that one. So some exciting upcoming events. We told you about Pumpkin Chunkin' Palooza. There's also the Walk to End Alzheimer's this weekend, and we'd love to tell you about it, but actually we have a special guest. Dave is going to be talking with Uncle Chris when we return after this.
Here comes week 5 of the high school football season, and Lake TV brings you the Tri-County Conference Showdown between California and Boonville. Catch all the action live on all 5 Lake TV platforms. Tune in at 6:30 for the Central Ozarks Medical Center pregame show. That starts at 6:30 with kickoff set for 7. This live high school football game of the week is brought to you by Central Ozarks Medical Center, Millard Family Chapels, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Hy-Vee, Lake of the Ozarks, and Jefferson City, Crown Power and Equipment in Eldon, Cool Breeze Marine, Mike Heitman State Farm Insurance, Central Bank Lake of the Ozarks, Ozark Homes, SRG Financial Advisors, Extensive Mobile Detailing, Ceramic Pro Lake of the Ozarks, Serdike Yamaha, New Spring Wellness Center, LakeExpo.com, and the Missouri State High School Activities Association. And welcome back to A Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris from Slumberland Furniture. So we're joined by Dave Tomlinson, and we want to talk about the Walk to End Alzheimer's, right? And
Good, yeah.
Everybody's heard of Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, it's become one of those, words in our lingo now that everybody knows and hears about. And it touches so many people.
It does.
Personally, I've lost a sister and a mom to Alzheimer's, so it hits home. So you've got this Walk to End Alzheimer's coming up. Tell us about it. When does it happen, and how do people get involved?
The walk this year is we're moving back to Camdenton, where I initially started it after my wife, who has since passed, was diagnosed and so forth. And so we lived with Alzheimer's for several years and started to walk to join the national Walk to End Alzheimer's, and this year it's at the Camden City Park. It'll be this Saturday, the 25th. Registration's at 9, and when you we'll have a sign up and have a short program, and then you'll have an option there. You can walk right around the city park there, or we're going to have a walk that will be similar to a 5K that goes out and goes down the sidewalk and goes clear to the square there in Camdenton to create more awareness and get more people involved.
Okay, so this is held annually, this Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Correct.
My sister heads up one of them in Indiana. So, I mean, it's all over the country, probably all over the world. It's the world's largest fundraiser for Alzheimer's care. And you can sign up in person, or you can sign up online, I'm guessing, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
ALZ Walk / Lake Walk is one way on it. Did I get it all wrong on my on my card? So alz.org /Lake Walk.
Okay.
And that signs you right up, gets you right on our website. You can sign up right there. You can make donations right there. You can join a team. You can start your own team. You can join Team Shirley. That's
Team Shirley.
That's,
huh? Well, and I was reading up on this last night. You can even walk from home, apparently.
We started this last year.
Yeah. Because of COVID, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had people that were. I got a daughter that lives in Southern California, and they had a little different time. They didn't want to get up too early with Dad that morning, but they were out there and walking and raising money, and they're raising money again this year in Southern California.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, and here's just a few stats that blew me away when I was looking it up. More than 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. More than 6 million Americans.
That's correct.
Between 2000 and 2019, deaths from Alzheimer's increased 145%. So this is a disease that's not fading away. It seems to be expanding.
Absolutely, it is. And we're being very aggressive, trying to find some way to even slow down the disease.
Yeah.
In the top 6 death-causing attitudes or things in the U.S.,
yeah.
It's the only one that doesn't have anything yet to even slow it down.
Wow.
Heart disease is terrible,
yeah.
but there's lots of things that people can do with heart disease and to extend life and so forth.
Yeah, and still trying to figure this Alzheimer's out. Almost 2/3 of Americans with Alzheimer's are women. So this seems to affect more women than men, which is kind of stunning.
And it's also that way, and then there's more women involved, and then the woman normally becomes the caregiver if her husband's the one. So it definitely affects women very strangely.
Absolutely, and in my personal experience with family members with this, it gets to a point where it's not healthy anymore for other family members to try and take care of them because it's not healthy for either one of them. And so it's just a diabolical disease.
In 2015, I spent more money on the cost of my health care than I did my wife's.
Right.
And then in my case, it was very strange because Shirley was so young at diagnosis. But then I couldn't get help from the VA, I'm a veteran, and from the state. And then they finally said, okay, we're going to give you some help for some in-home health care. Oh, she was too young. We had to wait till another birthday.
Wow.
And it's very difficult.
Enough to rip your heart out, really, isn't it? So this is Dave Tomlinson. He is heading up the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And again, as we run out of time here, tell folks how they can get involved if they want to get more information or do the walk with you.
There again, alz.org/Lake Walk. You can get all the information there. Also, you can call me. I don't care, Chris.
Okay.
573-280-4129. We'll be at the city park 9 o'clock Saturday morning. The walk actually starts around 9:30, 9:45, something along those lines. Come out, grab one of our flowers. We got 4 different colored ones. This one particularly is for someone that has lost someone to Alzheimer's. Is their different colors, and it's nice when we get those flowers all put together in what we call a promise garden, and you know that you're not living alone with this disease.
Right. Dave, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
All right.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll be back and wrap up this week's Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris right after this.
No one has ever reinvented mattress shopping until now. The grand opening of Slumberland Sleep Solutions, where we've simplified, uncomplicated, and laid things out for you. Start with a quick rest match to pick your basic mattress type.
You love memory foam.
I really do.
Then shop the information and rating system on each bed. Did you know you can get great back support with a soft feel? It's true, and easy to find. Mattress shopping, reinvented, only at Slumberland Furniture.
Awesome. And Dave actually hopefully going to get a chance to come on our community spotlight and tell a little bit more of his personal story and why, that's so important to him. And I know that's touched you very dearly, as you mentioned as well. So really a good cause. If you can't get out there, try to support them in some way. Now, not just great events, but there's great stuff taking place on Lake TV right now.
Speaking of powerful stuff on this week's Spotlight show, we've got Jason Jones, who is a big guy in the community raising money for charity, focusing on breast cancer awareness. So he brought with him a cancer warrior, a lady who's still fighting cancer and that has won her fight to this point, but just an incredible story. So Community Spotlight Show, Lake TV, be sure to watch that. You can see that every day at 9, 3, and 7 right here on Lake TV. So good stuff.
Very good. Also, our monthly market update with the O'Sullivan Bruce Group. Really cool. They're going to talk about the first 8+ months of 2021, and it has been record-breaking. So lots, of course, high school football. We told you about this Friday. Boonville in California. We'll see you at 6:30. Big shout out to our awesome crew, Jill Ray and her staff. As for Chris, I'm William Holtz. We'll see you guys next week.